Wave of Tesla good news is coming, which is why the stock is rallying. Sheesh! In fact, if the good news keeps getting stronger and better for Tesla, then we could probably see 300 pretty darn soon. Anywho, let's get down to the good news. It's not just Tesla, but macro as well. Tesla does get heavily influenced from the macro environment, and we're getting some good news there as well. So let's get down to it. If you guys want me to make more of these types of videos where I go through the news, the good news for Tesla, then let me know. Smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, man. Let's go. So the first good news is obviously the Cybertruck end of this month, 30th of November. Right now we're at the 15th, so literally just almost at 2 weeks until the delivery day where we get the prices and all that good stuff, and it's gonna be flipping awesome. These guys are going to be rolling billboards on the roads. It's going to be a massive advertisement for Tesla without actually paying for advertisements. It's flipping awesome. And invitations are going out now. People are already getting it, so that's flipping awesome. That's one great news. The second great news is Model Y and Model 3 price hike in China and a little bit of US. It looks like what's happening in China is demand is coming back up again while Tesla is at full production, which is awesome, which is flipping awesome. A lot of bears were going like, oh, no man, Tesla is going to continue to reduce prices, which they will, but they'll continue to reduce prices because there's no demand for it. Well, now they're increasing prices, even though not as significant in the US, but in China about 2,000, 2,500 increase. That's a sheesh moment. But Tesla will continue to reduce prices as we keep going forward in the future because they want to sell as much vehicles as they possibly can. But they will do it while COGS for each vehicle keeps going lower, because I think from now on, because the macro environment seems to get a whole lot better in 2024, I don't think Tesla will reduce prices like how they did literally earlier this year. Like they brought it down like almost like 30-40%, which is absolutely insane. That was because people weren't actually buying cars. Nobody was really buying anything because interest rates were high. But that's going to change soon. But nonetheless, seeing price hike short term is a good sign. We also can't forget about the Model 3 Highland. A lot of them has been exported to Europe, and people are waiting for those. And these things cost less to make than the previous Model 3. So margins are higher here. More people are excited to get into them. So although in China right now, we're not seeing much of the Model 3 Highland being sold yet, they are making about 1,200 daily being produced. Most of it is being exported to Europe because there's a lot of interest, not just in China, but in Europe as well. And then soon North America. So this one is going to be a massive sales point for Tesla with a higher margin, profit margin. So this is a sheesh moment. Model 3 Highland is going to be a sheesh one. Now, the other good news is Elon Musk did confirm, now obviously this is Elon Musk saying it, that FSD version 12 beta coming in 2 weeks. Guys, you know what this means? That FSD coming and it's no longer beta anymore? That means anyone with a Tesla, in the United States at least, can opt in for FSD. That would mean anyone who wants FSD can now get it, which also means that Tesla will be benefiting more in monthly because FSD is a software as a service, about $200 a month. But there's a big but here for FSD version 12. Personally, I think that it's still going to be beta. Version 12, it's still going to be beta. Even though Elon said it's not going to be beta anymore and anyone can do it, I do think version 12 is going to be beta just in case, and maybe the next version after that, it may no longer be beta, version 12.0101, whatever they want to call it. But nonetheless, in 2 weeks' time, so literally Cybertruck, November 30th, and it looks like December 1st, version 12, FSD. That is a sheesh moment. The other good news here is India is considering to cut taxes for EV imports, aka Tesla, bringing Tesla from China, or no, I think it was from Europe, the Model 3s and the Model Ys. Even though India is more of a lower market for vehicles, like 10,000, 7,000, 5,000 range. I'm not too sure how Model 3, Model Y will work there, but we've seen it now. Model 3, Model Y surprise us in every sector. It's twice the amount of a Corolla, but it's becoming the world's most best-selling vehicle, the Model Y. So this is like an iPhone moment where the normal phone back in the day was like 300, but then the iPhone comes out was like 600-700, doubled the amount, and yet that was the fastest selling. Maybe we'll see the same trend in India. Let's see what happens. But this is a good news. That means Tesla will have more market to tap into, increasing their market share worldwide. So that's very good. The other great news here is, as you guys know, BP first announced the supercharger deal with Tesla. And now EG agrees to it, which has a lot of gas stations, and they're going to have their own branded Tesla superchargers, but provided from Tesla. Them royalties coming in for Tesla is going to be absolutely great. And this is a domino effect. I mean, BP first, EG, Shell, Exxon, we have the other ones too, Petro-Canada, Esso, all those other guys. They kind of have to now since we're in this EV adoption, right? So this is awesome. This is a great news. The transition to sustainable energy or to EVs is happening much faster. The more people know they can charge their EVs at now gas stations, that will give them more of a confidence, less range anxiety, even though we know that in countries that Teslas are in, there's not much of a range anxiety, but this will reduce that excuse and probably eliminate it once every gas station now has superchargers. So this is a very good news. Watch for other brands, again, Shell, Exxon, all the other brands making deals with Tesla. It's going to be an awesome announcements. Sheesh. So that's the good news for Tesla. I mean, the biggest one here is the price increases in China. The fact that there are full production in China again. I think all their factories right now is at full production, and yet they have to increase prices. That is a very, very strong sign. But now let's go and look at the macro environment, because I think macro environment, something is changing. I mean, things are looking very good. CPI index just came. It was expected 3.3%, lower 3.2%. I mean, 0.1%, but nonetheless, that was lower than expected, which is really good. It means that people are slowing down on their purchases. So that's really good. On the other end is PPI, this was a sheesh moment. It was expected 1.9%. It came out 1.3%. That is a big flipping deal. And for us to stay on the same page, let's see what PPI is, because I think this is very, very important. What does high PPI mean? The producer price index measures the cost of goods from the producer's perspective. Higher PPI numbers signify higher inflation, which could lead to interest rate hikes. We were below that, weren't we? Let's continue. The stock market usually reacts negatively to high PPI reports, but this can change based on all other current economic data. So here's the thing. PPI was expected to be 1.9%. We go 1.3%. It means inflation is practically, it's been dead for a while now, but this proves that it's dying out a whole lot faster than we think. And this means that we may not have the 1 or 2 extra interest rate hikes. We may not have that because things are coming down nicely. Just last week, the bond yield went high, and that's why we had a massive stock downturn. Everything was going up. Tesla hit like 190. I think this was like 2-3 weeks ago. That's because of the bond yield. And, Biden saying that Tesla should be unionized, all that kind of fun stuff. I love the stock market. It's so full of emotions that when it goes down, it's the end of the world, and when it's going up, there's no bad news. I love the stock market. Right now, we're in that trajectory going upwards. Nothing but good news. Nothing can bring it down. That's why we're having this rally and all these good news are coming out. But this one is a big one. PPI, it's pretty much telling us that inflation is done and next rate hikes are very, very limited. And if that's the case, that means we're going to pause. And right now, if we look at Canada, UK, and other countries, they've stopped increasing interest rates because in Canada right now, the GDP came out and it was flat, pretty much indicating that they're in a recession. UK is coming down very nicely, and they said they're done increasing rates. And the US hasn't said that. They said we may just, if we have to increase it, we'll increase it. But I think they've paused at this time. And right now, Canada is looking to reduce rates in March. All I gotta say is a year from now, November of 2024, interest rates are probably going to be in the 3 to 4%, not in the 5 to 6% what they are now, probably even lower. They kind of have to, because if they keep it higher, PPI, that is a big, 1.9 you expect it, and then you go 1.3. Mind blown. That's absolutely mind blown. So it looks like there's more certainty towards things, and that's why the stock is going up. That's why more speculation and more confidence towards interest rates going lower than higher. If you take 6 to 12 months, who knows what could happen in the next month or so. But unlikely we're going to see higher interest rate hikes. unlikely. And if that happens, if we start to see interest rates going down, naturally people will look to buy vehicles, because we know that the car business is cyclical. And we know why Tesla is with all these price reductions is because of interest rates. And Elon has said that because most people don't go out there to buy cars in cash. They finance it or they lease it, which is heavily backed by interest rates. So if we can see naturally people coming that they delayed buying new vehicles last year and this year and the year before that, we can see them to come out and say, hey, I got more money now. I'm not that under the pressure anymore. I'm ready to get a new car, financing or leasing, and interest rates are lower, so they can afford it even more. And Tesla at this point could increase prices again. So this is a sheesh moment. Another great news why the stock's going up is Michael Berry. He closed a short position and he lost about $1.6 billion. Oh my God, this is hilarious. That's how you know the stocks are doing good. Economy, people are looking more positive, and the next 6 to 12 months is gonna be flipping awesome. Now, could we see a crash? Would the Fed keep the interest rates high until something breaks? Yes. And if that happens, we can expect a recession, but it's going to be a very strong bounce or maybe a soft landing in the US alone. In Canada, I don't think there's going to be a soft landing. Things are not looking good there at all. But in the US, I think they do have a shot of actually doing a soft landing, which is very rare for US doing that. And if that actually happens, wow, we actually dodged a recession. Absolutely awesome. Nonetheless, that's all the good news that's been happening with Tesla. I'm sure there's a few other ones that I missed. I mean, probably when you guys are watching this, some other good news came up, or maybe bad news came up, but that's why Tesla stock has been rallying. And potentially, if we still continue to get more good news coming out, we could probably see 300 by end of this month. Again, not financial advice, but that is a sheesh moment. I mean, we went from 190 to now 250. So in a matter of just a week, maybe less than a week. So sheesh moment, but Tesla stock keeps going up and down. One day 190, the other day 250, the next day 400, the next day $100. These short-term prices don't matter. They don't matter at all. I'm a long-term investor who's going all into Tesla stock at least till 2030. And if you guys want an idea what the stock price could be by 2030, if you include everything that Tesla's business has, bots, robo-taxis, FSD licensing, FSD, figuring out just how FSD is, if all the Teslas around the world opt in for FSD, if they could opt in for FSD, energy, insurance, all that good stuff. Don't even mention, I forgot to even mention refinery. That's a refinery. That's another good news. Helping them reduce costs a big time, securing more supplies for themselves so they can sell more Teslas at a lower cost, which increasing their margin. So absolutely a sheesh moment. But if you want to see all that by 2030, check this video over here. I'm disappointed. Obviously, it's only a prediction. Don't take everything with a grain of salt and do your DD. Guys, get your I bought the dip t-shirt, or I keep buying Tesla stock because you're a long-term investor. Appreciate your support if you guys do, and subscribe, and I shall see you guys in the next video. See ya.